Okay guys, I'm just doing a quick video here because one of the things I'm noticing as I travel is people just walking, I don't know if you can see, people just walking down walking places. All over the place I'm seeing this. You can see wherever I am, it's Monday morning here. Locally it's 7:28. This is in Arkansas in between Russellville and Adkins, and this is just a road that parallels a train track. And this morning I've seen probably 3 to 4 of these people, and I'll tell you, strange things are happening at night. You know, if I come out at night for some reason, lots of strange folks around, lots of people walking and traversing, and also I feel like there's less people. I don't know, but just there's a lot of infrastructure, and I feel like there used to be more people, and now there's not as many. I don't know, maybe I just sound crazy for saying that, but there's still people congregating in the big box areas, Walmarts and things, but out here in kind of the country and stuff, there just doesn't seem like a whole lot happening. And, you know, I'm coming up on Adkins here in a minute, where basically, you know, just there's not much of a town left, and there's also people riding bikes and just kind of walking. I'm seeing a lot of it. And then in addition to that, I've done some videos on just abandoned cars. There's also this phenomenon I'm seeing everywhere, which there's like, I want to call them like Mad Max looking cars, like cars missing bumpers, all dented up, banged up, taped windows, way more than usual. And I'm seeing that on the highways and stuff. So it's definitely strange. And also I've been seeing these bizarre accidents. I was really considering posting a video, but I don't know, something's telling me not to. And you can see, because, you know, with some of the stuff I post, I often feel like there's responsibility along with it, but I'll just describe what I saw. So I was driving into Hot Springs, Arkansas the other day, and, you know, I saw like an ambulance, so I pulled over, and I came into the situation. It was early in the morning. It was like, you know, breakfast time, and I saw this motorcycle that was on the side of a hill, and then I saw a sign that had sliced through, and then I saw a body that had to be 50 to 75 feet away from the impact. So this guy flew that far, and his leg was really badly mangled, and he was bleeding out of his mouth, but he was conscious. So I think he probably made it. I don't know. You know, I just don't know what happened. But during that time, I was sitting there watching it, and we were praying, and his wife was there, and these are riders that had, on the back of their motorcycles, they had signage that said the tail of the dragon. Now, if you don't know what the tail of the dragon is, I've been riding motorcycles my whole entire life. Maybe a lot of you guys don't know that. I have one tattoo. It says Motorrad, and that's because I started riding BMW motorcycles exclusively, you know, the last 15 years of my life or so. But I grew up, my first dirt bike I think I had when I was 5, so to give you a little background on me, I'm a proficient rider. And riders that have ridden the tail of the dragon, it's in Tennessee, I believe. It cuts through Appalachia, and it's got 318 curves and 11 miles, something like that. And the road is adorned with trees that have like gas tanks hanging on them and different motorcycle debris, things of that nature. And I was talking to the woman because she was on a trike, and on the back of her trike it said "Tail of the Dragon." And I said, "You've ridden the dragon?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay." She said 3 times, which meant guaranteed if she did it, her husband had done it. He was the one that flew off the motorcycle at 9:30 in the morning. I mean, I have a video, a short one that I took of it, but, you know, I'm just hesitant to post that. Now, as we sat there, they scrambled a helicopter, and they came in with a life flight, and the medics cut off all the clothing, and then, you know, it really was a bad scene, a bad motorcycle accident. And then the sheriff arrived on the scene, and then a state trooper arrived on the scene. They were directing traffic, and I was sitting there watching, just looking around. Under police direction, a truck slams into the back of a car right in front of me. And so here's a car drive with no tags. So the point to this story is, I've been seeing a lot lately, and I'm trying to be out here and show you what's happening. And I know a lot of us are up to speed, but I feel like my job right now is to kind of get you a grassroots, boots on the ground feel, different places I travel, different things I'm seeing. So this video started with someone walking down the street because I'm seeing a lot of that. As I came down from, and this has been happening, I remember I was in Anaheim going to a Reawaken tour. I was passing through Palm Springs on a highway, and I saw a car in the middle of the highway, red car, flipped upside down, just sitting there. Looked like just before I got there, it fell out of the sky. And I know maybe this sounds a little nuts, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing this on my way down to do the podcast I did last week on a Sunday morning. That was, I saw 3 or 4 accidents that made no sense. I saw a truck kind of near a rest stop, and it just smashed through a pole, and there was like grass and a median, and it was going the wrong way of traffic. And I said to myself, how in the world, and smashed. I mean, I'm talking the pole was halfway through the truck. I've been seeing vehicle fires and just stuff that I don't ever remember seeing before, guys. So I'm just telling you to be vigilant out there. Now, I don't know what this is related to. I mean, we have an expert, I would argue an expert motorcycle rider going to breakfast in the morning that's ridden the tail of the dragon 3 times. How did he come off the road and eject himself through a sign? And then under police direction, another car slams into another one right in front of me. And I had this on video, but I'm sure you believe what I'm saying. But it's just, you don't feel good about, I don't feel good about taping those types of scenes because they're horrific. And as I was going down Route 81, I saw the police, the ambulance response. I got off the route around it. I drove right underneath of it, and I saw it. And so a lot of this stuff, so it could be, I don't know, people are in disarray, confusion, maybe side effects. I'm not sure exactly. But I'm just letting you guys know to just beware, when you're driving, and stuff like that. Be looking up. I'm always looking up generally. I know I take criticism for certain things that I do. But that's what I'm seeing. Okay. So just be aware of it. People are driving. I mean, it's even crazier, on the highways and stuff. People are driving like gasoline is free. There's these, these Chevrolet Camaros and the Dodge, those muscle cars. And they're literally, just bobbing and weaving these loud pipes through traffic, driving crazy. I ran into a guy yesterday. I'll tell you how crazy it is. So I was at a gas station yesterday, and these 2 folks walk up to my car like they're going to get into it. And they said, "Oh, sorry." And they said, "We thought this was our car." And I said, "Oh, what's up?" They're like, "Well, we have a rental car." And I said, "Oh, well, it's the same one as yours." I said, "Okay." And they said, "Sorry about that." And they're like, "Oh, you have a Maryland tag?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Oh, our rental car is Maryland tags too." And I just thought that was one of these, coincidences, if you will. And then they started telling me a story about why they have the rental car, because they were rear-ended on a road at 70 miles an hour. They're going 70 miles an hour. And this is recent, okay? It's because this is yesterday they had the rental. So their car's, I guess, getting fixed. And I'll go ahead and tell you another story. So anyway, so they were driving down a highway at 70 and they got slammed into so bad at 70 miles an hour. They got slammed into that they needed a rental car, and thank God they're okay, because at 70 miles an hour and you get hit, that can turn into a situation that's not good. And another story along the lines of getting a car fixed. I have a good friend, and this is the 13th week. A part went bad in her car and it's under warranty. 13 weeks ago, the dealership got the car. It might even be 14 weeks ago. And the dealership has had the car now for 13 weeks, okay? And she's had a rental car for that time. So if you do some math, so it's easy in my head, 12 times 7 is 84. So say 90 days or so, they've had the car. And then if you figure the cost of a rental, say $50 a day, is going to put you at for $4,500 or so, right? So that means that the dealership has paid the enterprise $4,500 to have this rental. And there's restrictions on this rental, state travel, there's different things. So this consumer bought a car from a dealer. The dealer's had the car now for 13 weeks waiting on a part. It hasn't been replaced. And when she calls the dealer, they don't even have any answers. They don't even call her back. And that's Volkswagen, guys. It's a turbo diesel. And so these are some of the things that are happening. These are the real life stories that I'm telling you because that's what's happening now. And I just feel like it's my job to be out here seeing it and then explaining it to you some and telling you these stories that are actually happening. So I don't know if you enjoy this video or not, or if it has any value to you or not, but that's some of the things. I had another friend that called me from jail. And this is why my friend with the rental car, I say, keep calling Enterprise, because I had another friend, I get a call from a jail cell. I'm like, what, do you accept the charge? I say, okay. She says, Richard, I'm in jail. I say, okay, what's going on? She says, well, I brought back my rental car a few days late. Because she was traveling and got stuck somewhere for a couple of days extra. Now, I don't know the whole story. And, when people call you from jail, we never know the whole story. But it's someone that I knew and was a good American person that I know. And she's being held on, I think she told me it was like a $1,500 bail, which I don't have the money to do that, to bail that out. But she went to Enterprise to return her car, and she was arrested for grand theft auto because she brought it back a few days late. That's her story. And either way, it seems to me, even if there's more to that story, which, there's a chance that there is, and I only had a couple-minute phone call to, and I'm not asking all those details. You're more concerned with someone's state of mind and well-being at that point because they are now in jail. But she'd rented a car, and doesn't the rental car company charge you this extra fee or something? They hold a certain amount of money or something, and wouldn't there be a remedy beyond reporting a car grand theft auto? And then she brought it back to Enterprise. I mean, she brought it back to them. Here's your car back. And if she owed a few dollars or whatever the case may be, shouldn't there have been some sort of, accommodation or something besides just throwing someone in jail for grand theft auto? So that's happening. That was a month or two ago. So anyway, guys, kind of a long, look at these birds. Wow. Kind of a long-winded story this morning, but it's Memorial Day, and this is just what I was doing. I'm getting ready to get back on the road here, hopefully to meet up with some farmers. There's been so I've stopped at some farms and stuff. I'm trying to talk to some farmers and have some people helping me with this, but it's interesting to me. I'm going to tell more of that story soon, but hopefully I'll get to spend some time with some farmers and post some videos for you of firsthand information from the farmers of what's going on. But, the truth is on that, I think I have my head wrapped around a lot of it already, and I might just, if it doesn't go the way that I want it to, or not, if it doesn't go, I shouldn't say it, I'm happy to tell the story, anyone's story for what their truth is. But I'm seeing, as I traveled and traversed this land, I'm seeing different things. And when it comes to the farming thing, I see Amish people farming. And I saw a young boy the other day driving a team of 8 horses turning over the land, a young Amish boy. And then I've been to a bunch of farms lately, and I'm seeing how we raise our food, the general population food. And what I'm seeing is huge mechanical machines that cost tons of money. I mean, I don't know what one of those harvesters costs, but I'd say it's north of $500,000. And that's just one piece of equipment a farmer has. He also has the apparatus to spray herbicides and pesticides and all that. He also has apparatus to do the seeding and different things. And don't get me wrong, I love tractors and I love, big trucks and cranes and things because I'm a guy and I've always just liked that stuff and I like knowing how things work. But then I'm also just seeing these rows and rows and rows of clone plants being produced. And then I take a look at a lot of these farmers, and let's just say the Amish boy and his parents or whatever, the way they're doing it, and that they look very like they're very healthy people. They're very hardworking and they're physical. And through the process of modern industrial farming, I think a lot of the relationships that farmers used to have with their acreage and the relationship they used to have with their seeds when they used to, process their own seeds and replant them through like a regrowing process. It feels to me like it's been disconnected through the mechanics of the process, through big equipment and things. And then you can see that in them where a lot of these farmers climbing out of these tractors, they don't exactly look healthy. And that's not a slight because we've all had the wool pulled over our eyes. But then I see these cloned seeds going in, which are all identical. And then I see these cloned, chickens, which are all identical. And then I see these cloned sheep and pigs and cows and soybean and wheat and even your own lawn, And then we have companies like True Green Chem Lawn that come keep it looking perfectly green all the time. And I've loved seeing some of the pictures this year of just people showing the clover in their yards and the dandelions popping up and all that, because we are all individuals and we're all unique. And so when we look at our industrial, some of the part of our industrial processes, it's been converted, really in not that large amount of time, but now the farmer buys all of his seeds from a Monsanto related company, and they plant corn, and the corn grows, and they usually have a grass, some sort of fescue or rye that's growing to stop erosion, and the corn starts sprouting, and the farmer goes back out with his chemical machine and sprays it all, but the grass dies and the corn doesn't, because the corn has been genetically modified to resist Roundup. And then it kills all the grass, and the corn then grows, and then that gets harvested and processed and fed to the chickens, and this is how it works. So, I have just mixed feelings about it. And that's why I love certain people that I talk with, and they're really, and a lot of you out there, I can post some pictures of the gardens that I've grown in my life. I grew up with a father who, I can identify most all these trees in front of me because my dad was an arborist, and I was blessed to spend time with him and learn about these things as a child. And my mother grew vegetables my whole entire life, and now it's passed on to me. And those of you out there, I tell you, that if you're not planting a garden, it's not that difficult, and just get your hands in the dirt and show your children how to do it. Because if we continue down this path of, and it's already happening, right? But if we continue down this path of monoculture, cloned plants, cloned everything, we're losing our individuality. Sorry, I can't say that word this morning. To it, right? And so, as we are individuals, my brother and I had a landscaping company we worked together for years, cutting grass and things. And I would say to him sometimes, I'm like, why aren't we designing landscapes with fruit trees, just instead of an ornamental, maple tree or Japanese maple or something that's pretty beautiful? Why aren't we planting this customer a pear tree or an apple tree? And instead of planting all these tulips, which are beautiful, and daffodils, and let's do those too, why aren't we planting some basil or mint as part of the landscape? Because you can, in a little patch of land, the amount of herbs, vegetables, fruits you can grow is so abundant, it's unbelievable. And so this is what we should be doing. So if you're listening to this, just go out there and plants are incredible. I mean, look at all these trees just thriving, and no one's giving them, they're just getting what they need from God, and they're just getting it from above, which is rain and sun and then the earth. And so if all of us just, and again, if I was more stationary, it's just that I feel called to be out here doing this. That's exactly what I would be doing. I would be finding a little apple tree and planting that, and then, getting every herb I could get my hands on and throwing that in, and finding some heirloom seeds and throwing that in, and letting the sun ripen your fruit and start eating that, and find out different ways to do things. Because so long as we all keep going to the grocery store, which you really can't source where your things are coming from, you don't know, it's been sprayed with pesticide. I was spending some time with a lady in Hagerstown, and she was showing me her little patch of land. She had all these fruit trees, and she was showing me these bushel baskets full of apples. I mean, so many. And she had a few apple trees, and just so many apples. And they're all bruised up, and they got little worms in them and all this stuff. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's the good stuff there. Our imperfections are our perfections. And when we look at a piece of fruit or an ear of corn, we look at it, and if we look at the cover of a magazine, or if we, all this stuff, the little hole from the worm and the bruising and the beats and the real life stuff that things have been through, that's what makes them perfect. Not this clone mentality, everything looking the same, things being sexy and shiny and new. Whew, that was 18 minutes. Okay, well, I'm going to cut it there, guys. So I love you all. I'm traveling today. It's Memorial Day. I'm getting ready to get on the road here. I love the crows. Crows are often watchers, if you don't know. Very smart bird here. They like shiny things. Anyway, guys, hope you have a great day. Happy Memorial Day. It's 8:45 in the morning. I'm getting ready to hit the road.